Hello, everybody. I have a question. I need help. First off, let me say this. I'm on my cell phone, handheld, so if my movements are too fast for you, I do apologize. I will try to go slow, but sometimes I forget. I need help. I'm working on this amplifier. I don't think it's an amplifier issue, so I don't think you have to be an RF engineer to answer this question. I think if you were just someone who's semi-advanced in electronics, in air capacitors and coils, then maybe you might be able to answer this for me. Run into an issue trying to replace this control. This control broke off. It's kind of a weird control. It's this right here. It's a Hammerland, right? And on the front, they had a I don't know, linkage or cam or something. You smashed on top of that little thing right there, which is this piece right here. And in return, this knob was mounted onto it. I accidentally bumped that and it fell off. Tried to put it back on and it just would not stay. It kept falling off. So one of my ways of trying to fix this was to super glue it. Well, super glue did its job and everything stuck. Not only that, this air capacitor had issue. These plates that turned, they kept falling out of here. So even if I did get that fixed, this was not very good. And so I tried crimping this back together in a vise, and even though I got it to stick, then what happened was these plates touched each other and they never cleared it to get to the one over to get past it. So I had to relieve the pressure, and by relieving that pressure, that little camshaft thing just would not fit. As you see, there's not a lot of room on that. And so I bought another one, this one right here. And this one here is a really nice one. That's what it is. And so what the thought on this one was, the shaft is permanently affixed and I wouldn't have to worry about knocking that camshaft off. Nice heavy duty, solid. One other thing in trying to fix this, one of the back fins had fallen off. So after that fall off and I stuck that back in there, I went to measure this and I got about 150 picofarads or about. Cheap guess, but that's what I was able to measure. So that's what I ordered. And this one here actually measures just a little bit higher than that, and I'm okay with that. So, trying to take it out of here between this inductor and this ground point. Actually, the ground point was right there, but putting the new one in, I put it there. So I emulated how that was mounted onto here, and that was wrong. Once I got it all soldered in, mounted, it did not measure, did not function. And I'm measuring it on my Syncor capacitor meter, and did not measure. So And the way how I had it was I had ground to this one and then the inductor to this one. So I went ahead and swapped them around and put ground to this one and the inductor to that one, and same thing. So I thought, well, maybe it's a grounding issue, and so I took a grommet and put it over the shaft and tried to ground it here on the case. That didn't make any difference. So I did a little bit of studying on these to find out that, yeah, the shaft is ground and the bottom plates are your positive, lack of better words, better description. And so looking at this, you know, also think an isolation issue where the screw holes, the chassis mount holes are here, and you can see they are isolated. But it really doesn't matter because it's one and the same, because you see this little tab right here went to ground. So it made the center shaft ground. So no matter what I do putting this in, I cannot get it to function as that one functioned. I thought, well, what happens when I put it in, and I apologize if there we go. Hopefully we're in focused and lighting's better. What happens is if I check ground with the inductor, it reads as a short on the voltometer. And so that's, I believe, is what's happening on the inductor meter, is that it's reading as a short and it's not permitted to function properly. So in between the air capacitor and the inductor, I went ahead and tried putting capacitors in line, thinking that it would isolate and get rid of that dead short. Well, that did do that, but unfortunately the air capacitor no longer, well, it didn't function. So I checked it with the capacitor meter, and whatever capacitor I had in there, it would read that capacitor. I tried a picofarad size, and then I tried a microfarad size, and regardless of what I did, it did not, that air capacitor did not go through range of motion and change value. But if I hard code a capacitor in here like this one, this is a 63 picofarad, well, the amplifier works. But it don't work when I have that in line, and that's where I need your help. I don't understand, what am I doing wrong? What am I not doing correct? You know, or what am I not doing? Understanding this and this, I think I got a good grasp on its function, and I think they're one and the same. Now, the way how this was wired up, the inductor was soldered to this, and no, I lied. The ground was soldered to this leg right here, and the inductor was soldered across both of these legs here. And that did work. Just the blades here, because this whole shaft moved, would touch and would short out. And if you had it in the wide open position with the knob off, this thing here would it'd fall out of the hole. And so you have to crack it back open and shove it back in. And there's no way really of securing that where it wouldn't fall off. Otherwise I would have entertained using it. But then you'd have to stick a screwdriver through and adjust that. And realistically, this is a high voltage amplifier, or a high wattage amplifier that would high voltage. And that wouldn't be too particular safe. This amplifier is not a not a safe amplifier to begin with. As you see, it has no transformer. So I'm trying to reduce things. So if you could help me out on that, give me pointers, give me clues, what it is I could do to try to rectify. Did I buy the wrong air capacitor? Do I need to get something different? I'll be more than happy to do that. Like I said, I measured out to about 150 picofarad on this. And one other question for those of you that are in tubes, since I got you here, let me ask you this. I pulled the data sheet on these tubes. I forget what they are right off the top of my head. The text on it's really faint. Let me see if I can get them in. If I can't, then I'll put it on the screen for you. Okay, 30K KD6. So it's 30 KD6. And these are GE tubes with the gray plates. When you pull those tubes, the data sheet on those tubes, they come back as for TV application. I got 3 of them in this RF amplifier. This is a recent purchase, and we'll revisit this in a future video. I'd like to know what wattage these are supposed to put out. In this current status of this amplifier, I'm getting on these meters, yes, I know they're cheap meters, I'm getting about 150 watts on AM in 11 meters. When this thing was working, I think I was getting 200 to 250 plus watts. So I don't know. New purchase, new toy, broke it before I got to really explore it. On my bird meter, I'm getting close to that. I'll have to do some more testing when I can. So anyway, that's it for this video. Again, any help would be greatly appreciated. Cheap guesses, I'm even open to cheap guesses. Thanks a lot. Do appreciate it. And be looking forward to hearing from you.